Hi everyone, I'm Jocelyn from Transcend Wellness and welcome to this week's Healing Downloads. For those of you who are new, every week we do free healing downloads for everyone that subscribes. It's basically a group session to see what we all need to help us through this week. So I'm sure a lot of you have been feeling the heaviness that has been going on these last few days leading up to this week's full moon. So now's the perfect time to really get these downloads to help shift everything out so that we can go through this full moon shift with the least amount of resistance and have the biggest transformations. So let's begin with the first deck. For the first deck, the fractals that are coming up are showing us that we really need to let go of control in order for everything to flow. So normally we wake up in the morning and we have this plan of how we want the day to go, and then when something goes wrong, we get angry or frustrated with it, and then the more angry and frustrated we get, the more things that go wrong, and it just spirals down from there. These fractals are going to help us to really just let go of that control and surrender to our divine purpose, to our divine path. When something doesn't go our way, or when someone doesn't do something the way we want it to, it's just about taking a deep breath and letting it go, and giving us the support that we need to really allow us to do that. Because the more that we can do that, the less that we get angry and frustrated, the higher we can keep our vibrations, and the more that we can manifest from those high vibrations. But if we let it take us down and get angry and frustrated, it lowers our vibrations, and it's just going to attract more of those same things. So let's clear all that. We don't want that for this week. So everybody take a deep breath. The next downloads coming up are really to help us to process and integrate everything easier, to simplify everything, remove all the distractions, all the overwhelmingness, to say, okay, what do I need to do today? Pick, a few of the main things that you need to do, and just focus on that. Don't overwhelm yourself, because it's showing up that when we overwhelm ourselves and try and get everything done, we slow down our chi, causing all these blocks, and we don't actually get much done. So let's change the way that we do that, simplify it, keep our chi open, remove the blocks, balance our yin and yang, and be more productive. So everybody take a deep breath. Okay, now we have a lot of devastation that's been coming up, whether it's been building up this last month, or whether it just recently got triggered, or whether it's the full moon bringing up all this old past devastation that we need to release out. So these fractals will help us to do that, to rise us from the lower ego of all our fears, our worries, our doubts, our anxieties, and bring us to this higher space into our faith, our love, our hope, our trust, which will then bring more stability. And then when we're in that space, we'll make different decisions. Those decisions are then going to bring us to this higher place that we're trying to go, rather than stuck in our old patterns and continuing to manifest all these things that we don't want. So these downloads will help you to transcend. Everybody take a deep breath. A lot of sorrow is also coming up for us that's been overwhelming us, whether it's all this stuff from the past, or grief, missing our loved ones, things not being the way that we want them to be, the sorrow of everything that's going on in the world right now. So let's remove the overwhelmingness of it, release it out of our system, tap into the ancient wisdom from our ancient soul to really put us back in our power again. So everybody take a deep breath. As I mentioned before, this full moon has been bringing up a lot of relationship stuff. So whether the conflict just happened, or whether it's been building up this month, or being triggered from past lives, the full moon's bringing it up to resolve it. So it's a good thing. It's bringing everything up out in the open, helping us to get our karmic learnings and our lessons, helping us to shift it out, to then change our perception so that we can find this new way of relating, to clear out all this old baggage, to remove the tension, and then bring patience back into the situation, and then really put us into our power of acceptance, validation, and understanding from within. So everybody take a deep breath. The fractals coming up are to help us to let go even more, to stop clinging on to the way we want things to be or with the way we think things should be, because the more that we cling on, the more that we struggle, the more we lower our vibrations, the slower the process is. And struggling through it isn't going to make it any different. All it is going to make it enjoyable. You know, the more angry we get about it, the worse it'll be. It's never going to change it. It's always going to be what it's meant to be, but we can make it an easier process or we can make it a harder process. So these fractals are really going to help us to be mindful of that. When things trigger us because they haven't gone our way, or we really want something and it's not working out, just breathe, let it go, trust in the process, keep your vibrations high, because in those high vibrations, the faster you can shift out it, the faster you can ascend, transmute, and enlighten. So everybody take a deep breath. There's a lot of perceived threats coming up, all our worries, fears, doubts. So we really need to vanquish them out of our energy, vanquish them out of our minds, a divine intervention to help us to do that, and then white light bubble protect us, so that no matter how difficult things are going on right now globally or even around us, we can keep that peace. We can keep our strength and our power and continue to move forward rather than being dragged down. So everybody take a deep breath. A lot of us have been feeling stuck or trapped in dysfunctional relationships recently. So these fractals are really going to help us to detach from all of that, disconnect, and help us to heal, and then reconnect from a healthier space. It's also about being responsible to ourselves and being responsible for our own happiness. If we wait for everyone around us to change, we'll be waiting forever and we'll be stuck forever. But if we take that power into ourselves and say, okay, well, what can I do today that's going to make me feel better or shift me? Whether it's doing a training, Alison Armstrong has great online trainings for relationships, or watching Gaia TV, as I mentioned earlier. They have hundreds of TV shows and documentaries. You could be having the worst day and you just put Gaia TV on and watch one of their shows, and it'll be so inspirational. It'll pull you out of it, it'll rise your vibrations, and then it's kind of like a reset, reboot, and you come out of it empowered and you continue the rest of your day getting different results. Whether it's meditation, breathing work, or booking a session with me to really get in depth for what those roots are for you, to find out what's causing all this angst and turmoil and what you need to clear it out, and then we'll energetically clear it. It could be anything. It could be even just going out and doing something fun, you know, but making that choice for you to not be the victim anymore. We can become bitter or we can become better. The choice is ours. Fate is in our hands and nobody else's. So everybody take a deep breath. To finish today's group session, these fractals are going to help just de-escalate everything. Just bring down all the inflammation, all the triggers, all the tension. Just heal it and soothe it and bring us back to neutrality, back to the heart space. Help us to know that we're loved, to fill us with love, so that we can have this rebirth and reinvention. Everybody take a deep breath. Thank you for joining us this week. It's going to be an amazing full moon, and these downloads are really going to help us to shift through everything faster and easier. And remember, if you get triggered, to just release and surrender and trust that this is all part of the process of bringing everything up to clear it out. As I mentioned before, this is a general group session for everyone. So if you want to delve deeper to find out what it is that you need to clear for this full moon, to find out exactly what's going on, remove it from the roots to help you to shift, you can always give me a call or email and we can do a session together. Also remember, the power is in your hands. What you think, you create. One of my favorite doctors, Dr. Bruce Lipton, did a study on cells years ago and found that the cells develop different things based on the environment that they were in. So, for instance, if you're happy and you're in love, your body is going to produce oxytocin and the growth hormones and all these good, healthy hormones. And that's why they say people in love glow, because their body is producing all of this. But people that are stressed are going to produce all these stress hormones and break down their immune system. And then their vibrations are going to be low and they're going to attract more of that. The only thing we can control in life is what goes on up here. So this week is about being very mindful about what we focus on. What we focus on expands. If we focus on all the beautiful things in our lives and all the good things in our lives, we're going to rise our vibrations and we're going to be in that energy and it's going to expand and we're going to manifest more because the synchronicity is open. But if we focus on all the negative things and all the things that are not going our way and the things that are wrong and the suffering, we're going to lower our vibrations and we're going to manifest more of that as well. So it's up to us what we want this week. The power really is within us. And that's what this whole shift these last few months have been about and into the Aquarian age. It's about taking back our power and really being able to realize that The Matrix isn't a fictional movie. It is a documentary. It is what we are right now. We can create what we want to see. So I wish you all a transformational week. And I look forward to working with you next week. Bye.